Started at 10:02. We'll call this meeting to order. Wichita County Commissioners Court. Everyone please rise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Harvey as he introduces his guests for the invocation.
I've asked a very good friend of mine. He's in my Sunday school class. He is the executive director for Grace Ministries in Burke Burnett, Mel Feller, to come and give our invocation today. Go ahead, Mel. Yeah.
Our dear Lord, we come before you at this time and ask for protection and for help as we go through this meeting. Protection in the way that we may think of things that are pleasing unto you. Protection from the harm to make decisions with a clear mind. But Lord, we're grateful for everything you've given us. We're grateful for our elected officials and the fact that they work on your behalf and the community's behalf. Help us as community members to realize that not everything may be in our favor, but that it is for the good of the community. Lord, we ask to bless us as we go throughout the day, that we may do things that are pleasing unto you, and that as we travel back and forth, that we may be held safety. Please bless our servicemen and our frontline protectors, that as they are about their business in our community, they may be protected, and that we may always seek to do the better will of the community. We humbly say these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Bill. If you all would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas pledge, please.
Honor the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take a seat, please. Okay, I'd ask the court to take action on the consent agenda, please.
Judge, the consent agenda is quite lengthy today. It addresses a lot of business, and after reviewing it several times, I make a motion we accept our consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that, Judge.
Thank you. A motion by Commissioner Harvey, second by Commissioner Mahler to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any comments or questions on any of the items? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, under general business, let's go to item number 1, review and approve the emergency and regular bills.
Judge, I'd make a motion that we pay our emergency and regular bills as presented, and I had just a couple of comments on those as well.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay. We'll go ahead and discuss the item. We have a motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Commissioner Watts.
I noticed that Aramark, our meals are up about a nickel, juvenile and the jail as well. Is there an escalating clause in there or a CPI that kicks in annually?
We had agreed to a price increase. That's part of the negotiation, and we voted that contract became effective January 1st.
Okay, sometimes that that number moves slightly, and I think because of the volume of people, but I just wanted to double check that. There is a healthcare services software in the County Human Services Department.
Yes, sir.
Will that fold into the Tyler software?
No, sir. It's a very specialized software that they use. It has the medical codes in it, has the pricing stuff on drugs and things, and so it's very narrow, but it's probably the only software like that, and actually Wichita County helped develop that.
Okay.
Doesn't get us a particularly better price, though.
Well, also the Goodyear account, the sheriff has an account that is coding to the sheriff's department, and then the precincts use Goodyear as well. But I wondered if we have actually negotiated a customer price with Goodyear for calls, service on the road service calls, as well as flat changes, repairs. Does anyone know if that's the case?
No, sir, I don't believe there's any.
Commissioner Watts, I believe that
Everybody board.
traditionally, we have done like in Electra, we've used Ralph. Those guys have a truck that'll come out and service gradalls or not just tires on a pickup, but also your equipment, everything. And I actually use them too in Burt because they really, I don't know that Goodyear would do a tractor tire like Ralph and them would.
Right. But I'm thinking more of the vehicle from all across the sheriff's department, we're using them.
Cars.
And then on our trucks, if we're over here doing something and have a flat or blowout, we're probably more than likely calling Goodyear for that.
Yeah, well, on the precinct 2 vehicles, we actually will take a tire off and take it to them. And we buy our tires from Goodyear. They've got the best price that we've located, so. But we probably would need to do that if we're gonna try to use them in a service truck type.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, if we had ever negotiated such. Okay. I'll check into that too and just see where we're at with it. That's everything I had.
All right, sir, thank you.
One thing that Commissioner Watts and I had noticed on the telephone bill was from AT&T was our 766-8100 number. There's no detailed information at all. It was just $4,000 something, and then all the other numbers are broke out on there. So we did not know, Chris, if we could get some more detail.
Devin.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said Chris. You guys look so much alike. It's Devin. The other cousins? Okay. Anyway, there's just no explanation for the billing. It just a number out there. So if we could try to get some more detail, that would be helpful. Okay.
Okay, any other comments on the bills? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. I'm going to change the order. Ms. Shelton has something she needs to go ahead and present her item and take care of. Let's go to item number 4, is discuss, consider, take action to approve the hiring of a part-time temporary scanner for the district attorney's office for 29 hours a week at $10 per hour plus staffing fees to begin immediately for an indefinite period of time due to regular employees out on FMLA. She also told me that she's completed all of her paid benefit time, but it's still coming. So this is really budget neutral to the county, and but that is a project that she initiated and it has worked out very well in trying to meet all of the records requirements. Ms. Shelton, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, sir, just that I have 3 felony secretaries, and they do all the paperwork and briefs for the appellate attorney. So there's 10 attorneys that the 3 secretaries prepare. And so I was down one because she gave me notice of FMLA, and she's run out of her time. And so I, on my own, hired a person that graduated from Baylor early that wants to go to law school in the fall. And so what I was trying to do, and I'm paying her with asset forfeiture money. So I plugged her in because she has some knowledge of the law as a secretarial staff. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, while that was going on, another secretary, I believe, is going, another one of the 3 is going to give me notice of FMLA soon because she's going to have to care for a parent. And so that would put me down 2 felony secretaries, and it takes about 6 months to get them trained in any position. And so I'm just trying to keep the paperwork going, and so I'm just asking for this if you have any other questions. And it's a day-to-day thing. I'm not sure when the other one's going to take off.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Could I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Judge.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Mahler to approve the item as requested. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for letting
Yes,
me go
ma'am.
ahead of everybody.
Okay.
Number 2.
Now, I'm just looking at that minute. See if we want to do that a little.
Now, where are you, Judge?
Okay, well, kind of what we, we have the roof also? I think that was on consent.
That's in the consent agenda, Judge.
Okay, well, these gentlemen are here and wanted to speak to the roof, and I was trying to recall that as I was talking to you all. In the consent agenda, we adopted a measure there that went ahead and said we're going to follow and use the warranty and pay for the other work. But because y'all have made the trip here,
We can do it in item 5. We don't have any other discussion.
okay, let's go ahead and jump down for the sake of your all's time. We'll go ahead and jump to item 5, which is discuss, consider, take action on jail work orders, of which that is the roof. I'd ask you all, 5 minutes is not enough probably, and we can't listen that fast, I don't think. But if y'all would try to present what you wanted to get out to us. But I wanted you to know, and that's why I was trying to recall this morning, that it's foregone, and we had pretty well decided that in a work session, but it wasn't set up to take action on it. So I'll let you all decide if you'll introduce yourselves for the record and speak into, you can take that microphone if y'all want to stand there, just pull it out and do it from there.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, good morning. We just saw a little bit about it on the media. So we knew you guys had some problems with the jail roof, so we're just here to get on more information and see if we can resolve your issues. We really don't know that much more about it, at least I don't. Maybe you guys do, but absolutely. What the warranty work, it was really, like I said, we saw like a 60-second media clip, so we really don't know what the issues are or how you guys are going to go about it. So we were just here to get some more information to see if we could work with you guys and present a solution for you.
We looked at various things. We've looked at even a metal over roof on it. I mean, we've gone through all kinds of things, but in working with, we have an architectural firm that's done the county's work since at least the 80s. And working with them, that roof that was there was put in when that building was bought, and the reason it was bought was the state was doing things for counties with overcrowding based on the fact they weren't taking state prisoners. And as I recall it, the state's contract was to build that jail out, and we replaced the roof in it at that time with the 20-year warranty. It's a typical Texas flat roof in a place that has record-setting lows and record-setting highs, and that roof material has done what happens to it. But in this, we felt like we had to, in the work session we had last week on this, we needed to use up the warranty and not do anything that negated that last 3 or 4 years of warranty. So that was the reason we made that decision. John Mansfield's had their engineering people here. They've looked at it. We agreed. The only disagreement has been over the seams in it were not their product, and so that's why we have an expenditure to do that. Now, you all have got a different product maybe to talk to us about. What we haven't made is a decision whether we will use that building and continue it as a jail, or whether we're going to build a new facility in a different location in the downtown area. So that's why this interim step looks like the thing to do. Okay. Go ahead.
And judges, you and I discussed this morning, we've got other buildings. Okay. This is an ongoing challenge to keep these old flat roof buildings where they need to be, so we're always interested in looking at new products and new approaches. So it won't be for naught, because there will be projects down the road that this may pertain to. So I think it'll be time well spent for us to see your presentation.
Good. Well, if I understand everything, you guys, Johnson Manville is going to do the warranty work, or they have a warranty contractor that's going to take care of the issues now to get them through the next 2 or 3 years.
They have an approved contractor that has already made those repairs.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, Bobby, you want to talk about kind of what we're doing?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time. My name is Bobby Anderson. I work for a company called Geico Western. Basically, we're a 61-year-old waterproofing manufacturer, still family-owned. The big product I wanted to promote to you, which you stated in your newscast there, broadcast, was basically that it's hard to waterproof a flat roof, especially in Texas and with the extreme temperature fluctuation. We have a product that we've been manufacturing since 1992, which is a silicone roof coating. This product is impervious to UV, so it will never chalk nor oxidize under the UV. Sorry. So basically, you know, your TPOs, PVCs, all those systems degradate over time. They wear with the UV. So we've come up with this rejuvenation system to come in and rejuvenate roofing systems. And basically, it's got a 50-year warranty on it. So when you put it up there, it's the last system, last coating that you're going to need to put up there. A lot of people think of coatings as a Band-Aid. This is not a Band-Aid. This is a sustainable system that can still match 10, 15, 20-year NDL warranties. If there's a leak, it's fixed at no charge to you. This is a system that we have currently over 110 million square feet under warranty with Geico Western. What did we manufacture? I think we manufactured 4.1 million gallons of silicone for 2015. Step over here for a second. Let's tell the judge before we started, this is our claim to fame. This is just a generic cardboard box that's been coated with our product. We've been doing the cardboard boxes since 1993. We fill them up with water, float rubber ducks. When it leaks, let me know. I've worked for this company for 4 years. I've had one on my desk ever since I started. Never a problem. Put it in the freezer, let it freeze, I just do all kinds of stuff with it. It does not fail. This will be the last thing that you will have to do to these roofs. Under just patch repairs, we can do simple patch repairs or we can do entire systems. This is a company I'm partnered with, Restructure. We're here today together to promote the system and see if there is something that we can do for you. Maybe not this building for the next couple of years, but like you said, you may have some other projects out there that could benefit from it. We greatly appreciate any opportunity. Look at roofs, evaluate them, and we'll tell you what direction to go. I'll tell you, tear it off or coat it, whatever we could do.
Ballpark that stuff, price per square foot.
It's typically half the price of a re-roof in a perfect world. In a perfect world situation, and I'll just start there first. We're probably at about $3 a foot, and then we can go up to about $6 a foot, depending on the challenges of the project. But it's average of about $3 a foot. Not to talk too much about numbers, but we have some case studies that were done. There's a condominium there in Dallas that was done. Re-roof prices were $2.1 million. Coating system went down for $750,000, and they're under a 20-year warranty. We've done other prisons. We've done Fort Knox. Geico's done a lot of different projects. But if it's something you guys would be interested in, I'd love to talk to you in the future.
Spray on application?
Spray, roll, brush. I'm a huge fan of rolling, putting it down that way. First of all, you don't overspray cars. Second of all, you don't have loss due to winds.
How thick is it?
How
thick is your product?
Well, we started a 10-year at 22 mils. Remember, it doesn't chalk or oxidize. Your single plies have to start at 40 mils because they lose 1 to 2 mils annually. So
what is 22 mils, roughly what? How thick? Half an inch?
No, 22 mils is 22,000th of an inch. It's about, 1 mil is about the thickness of a Walmart plastic bag. So we start with 22 as a 10-year, we go to 32 as a 15, and we go to 48 as a 20. Identical to your single plies. They start at 40, 60, 80, and it all depends on the warranty. See, we can put less coating down solely because we don't chalk or oxidize. So when it's there for a lifetime.
So you're talking less than an eighth of an inch probably?
Yes.
Or around that?
Yes.
And then, so we pick up a 5-ton air conditioning unit and reset it down to get another bite on it. Does it punch through this material?
If it punches through the coating, it's going all the way through the actual system. If it actually touches the coating or comes in contact with it, if anything happens, it just kind of scrapes off a little bit. But the easy way to repair it is a bottle of Windex and some rags and a brush. You clean that area off. Windex evaporates, and then you just go ahead and coat it back down. It's very easy to maintain. We have highly visible walkways matched to OSHA yellow that have cork texture in them. So if you have employees up there maintaining equipment on a daily or weekly basis, there's a bright yellow walk pad that they can actually walk on that's got slip resistance and everything. It's all fully adhered. I know that you're having problems with the single ply. It's all because of seams. Seams is where you typically get your problems. Fluid applied system is completely monolithic. So we're eliminating all of those leak problems. I was a contractor for 12 years. I know the biggest downfall of a single ply is typically seams or corner patches. That's why people have to go back and hook them. They have to try to figure out if the welder was good, too hot, too cold, you know, things like that. So being able to do a monolithic system is very beneficial to you.
What's the window of application as far as conditions are concerned? Is temperature?
Very good question. So the temperature range is anywhere from 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is right at freezing. The coating can go down below freezing, but you get a dew point anytime you're under 32 degrees. And then it can be installed up to 125 degrees ambient temperature. So if it's hotter than that, nobody's really wanting to work.
Have you got it in your box there?
Sir?
Yeah.
Can we feel it?
Absolutely. I've actually got...
What's the mil thickness of what you've got in the box?
This would be your 10-year system. This would go into your 20. This is a typical single ply. We've got metal.
Feel that, too.
Now, is that the white on top? Is that
Yes,
what we're dealing with?
So the black would be an EPDM roof.
Okay, so that's existing roof, and this is what you're going to put on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And this is one over metal.
Do you have to remove all the gravel and do you have to, the existing roof, does it stay in place?
Yes, it's going to stay in place. We'll remove any debris or anything like that. That's just one over metal.
That's what amazes me.
It's just
If
like
you got a
rubber
10-year one,
rised.
It's got a rubber
turn out you
feel to
liked
it.
it, can you come back and add the other 10 years to that?
Absolutely. It's a completely sustainable system. So in 10 years, if we did a 10-year warranty today,
That's not very
in
big
10
for
years, basically what they do, they come out, they wash it, they put another coat
Thinner
of
than I
white
thought.
over the top, and we do another 10 years. Same thing for 20-year warranties. It's completely sustainable. It'd be the last thing you have to do. Plus, I'm pretty sure you guys probably have roofs out there that have two systems, or buildings that have two systems
Right.
on them. You can't put a third roof down. You have to tear off. Maintenance code. You can maintain it. You don't have to tear it off because it's not an actual roofing system.
You're not adding a bunch of structural weight
We're
to,
adding about 28 pounds per square.
really? That's more than I would have thought.
That's more than I would have thought.
Per square foot?
On square.
Corners in
Oh,
that thing, Lee.
okay.
I did
I
notice
know,
that.
the corners are just, it's incredible the way it,
It's about,
And how thick is this?
this right here would be your 20-year warranty.
Okay, okay.
Here's the 22 mil
that's a
right here.
22. This is a 22 also. Yeah, those are the same sample.
Is this stuff easily damaged?
Anything can be damaged.
No, is it easily
No.
damaged? I mean, I can know we can take a hammer to it and beat the crap out of it, but I'm just talking about walking on it or,
Well, it's designed for foot traffic. There's no problems with it. I always recommend a highly visible walkway. Hopefully your HVAC guys actually walk on those, you know.
That would be supported with some different material underneath that spray-on roof?
It would actually go directly over the coatings.
Oh, it'd go over it, okay.
Not to
Well,
get
is your,
into
is your walkway for, like, kid where they won't slip, or is that to prevent damage? I mean, both?
There's
Because
added
we've got,
texture in the
there's
walkway.
lots of mechanical on that roof that has to be serviced
Yeah.
on a
So
pretty
we would
regular
go around the
basis.
3 service doors or anywhere there's service doors, roof hatches, doorways, things like that.
Make trails.
We would make the trails around, and it has actual yellow quartz granules inside of it.
It's,
This is what the walkways look like.
yeah, the samples, you got a sample, isn't this, the other texture on there, isn't that the walkway?
What's that?
No,
No, this is just the mill.
No, it's not.
No, sir.
No,
Oh, that's not,
This
would
is
be
more
like-
of an existing
A roof.
deal that they.
This would be like your Jones Mansfield. This is called the.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very clearly.
so it's not.
Can you pick up the mic and use that while you're walking around?
Yes.
Very interesting.
So what we have found is that we've had a lot of commercial clients that were trying to get a good roofing system that would be cost efficient. And so we found this product, it's the only coating that can withstand underwater.
Warranted with no exclusions. I have no exclusions on ponding water.
You know, Lee, one of the reasons I pointed out the corners in that box is because of all of our mechanical things.
That's where our problems are at.
And it's where a lot of our challenges come from, where we've got a roof penetration with an HVAC unit, and that's why I was impressed with the corners, because that's where we're having a challenge getting sealed up, is where you've got a penetration in.
Absolutely. That's a challenge for your roofing manufacturers as well.
Do you bring it up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
Bring it up?
Yes, sir. We'd go underneath metal, flashings, anything like that, but when you come to your standard penetrations, you notice they have corner patches on them.
Right.
It's because that's their added protection, the way they kind of fold it like a Christmas present and then put their little square rounded patch over the top. That's typically a failure point. We can come in and make those repairs.
It's a little easier to do that flat spot than it is those sides and corners, and that's a pretty impressive sample.
How much flexibility in that, with that expansion contraction on that size roof?
Over 150%.
Wow. Well, that's a good
If
demonstration.
your building moves more than that, we have more problems than coatings, I assure you. I assure you.
Yeah,
That's,
that was
you know,
one of my questions.
My whole thing is I'm extremely passionate about this company and this product. I was a contractor for 12 years and then came to work for them just because of how much I believe in it. I wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have made the drive up from Dallas early this morning unless we really thought it was a benefit.
Man, it don't look like you.
173,000 square feet, 10-year warranty. Can you click off a price, or?
You can get it done for about $500,000 or less. 10-year warranty, leak-free, leaks anything. And I'm just ballparking off the top of my head, but that's about where you would be. I was kind of running numbers over the
I
weekend.
thought you might have done.
Absolutely.
175?
Absolutely.
How tough is it, like when it
I think
hails?
that's what that building.
You know, it holds up extremely well to hail. I don't know if this is the place I can get into showing pictures and everything, but I have over 1.2 million square feet of this coating at JCPenney's distribution center in Hazlet, Texas. What was it, about 2 years ago, we got hit by that massive hailstorm. Not going to lie to you, we had some damages. The whole system took 7,000 gallons to install. I used less than 100 gallons for repairs. What happens is, when the hailstones come down, the jagged ones kind of scoop the coating off, which if I can have any contact info, I can email you just some pictures of what happens in a hail damage brochure. It's the ease of repair that you end up having. Bottle of Windex, a brush, and a gallon of coating can repair over 100, 200 hail damaged spots. It's a great system. If you have any roofs out there, we'll take a look at them. I'll tell you if they can be coated, and I can tell you if they can be torn off, and I'll walk away from them.
All right.
Other than that,
Can you buy that stuff in a gallon bucket so that when we damage it, we can make the paint repairs ourselves?
well, typically what we do when we come into full system, 10, 15, 20 years, we actually do a emergency repair kit. So we leave you a 5-gallon bucket, we leave you some polyester, some brushes, so if there's an issue, someone can go up there and I have a whole itemized, lack of a better term.
Well, if we replace an air conditioner and we tear it up when we get it back, if we had it available, we could apply it to where.
You could make those repairs. The only thing I ask, if it's under warranty, that I'm notified prior and then after, so we can inspect it, because if there was any issues with the repairs made, we'd like to point them out and address them before we had any types of issues.
Well, as we move forward, there could be a time when we would have to change one of our roof penetrations, the size, to take on additional units or something, and that's probably what we'd be.
And if you have that, there's no reason to go back and flash it in with a single ply or metal or anything like that. I have another product we could talk about later, but we waterproof and seal penetrations in about 45 seconds to a minute, and they're completely waterproofed. So it's unbelievable what we have. But we've been in business for 61 years, and we're always coming out with the best products available.
Well, we appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
for your
Certainly
time.
worth our time to do that. As we move along on that, or possibly, as Commissioner Mahler said, we may want to look at some of our other roof situations.
Now, before I get done, this is, I'll grab that in just a second. This is architectural manuals. It's got a dry film sample inside, and it goes through absolutely every specification that we have. Metal, single plies, modified, so, feel free. All I have is 3 with me today. But if you have any questions, never hesitate to call.
We'll get one to our architect, too, and let them.
Commissioner's going to keep that box. We think it's going to make a good cooler.
It's all yours, all yours.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
They have an annual cardboard box boat competition.
There you go. There you go.
I was just wheel returning, yeah.
That'd be cheap.
Yeah, we may win that.
Thank you.
Might win the cardboard boat competition. Thank you.
Might be a little more expensive than most
It
of the
might be,
boats.
yeah. Well, we might go over budget.
We'll leave these with you too if you'd like.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Thanks a
Very good.
lot.
We appreciate it.
Do appreciate it, guys. It's kind of been enlightening.
That is good.
Thank you very much.
Together for you too, just about our company and also about.
Very good.
Yes, those books have Geico literature and then a whole bunch of good stuff about restructure as well.
Well, we have a number of aging buildings, and as time goes along, we know it's not if, it's when we're going to have to address things, and we need to know about things like this.
I can tell you, I have a reference if you want to talk to Kaufman ISD.
Okay.
They actually had to develop their own roofing crew to chase leaks. Every time it rained, they had over 125 leaks. We came out there, we installed the system for less than half the price of their re-roof. They're under a 20-year warranty, and John Hughes loves us to death because he's got his roofing crew doing other things now, and they're not having to do that. So it's a great opportunity, a great product to solve problems.
Have you ever sprayed it on anything other than roofs? Does it have other applications?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've done like inside of car washes because nothing really sticks to it very well, so no dirt. A lot of places where you're having issues with graffiti, you go in and just power wash it right off. There's a lot of benefits to it. I line gutters with it because there's no issues with ponding water, so we line internal gutters on industrial buildings. They're 20, 30, 40 foot, $20, $34 is a linear foot to replace those. We go in and we get them lined for just $1 or $2.
Is there surfaces that it will not adhere to?
Glass and plastic.
What about ceramic tile?
With a primer, yes.
But cinder block or porous tile?
Oh, God, it's
no
going to
problem.
penetrate so far in there that you'll never get it off unless you water blast or sandblast. But it will bond. We seal walls. We do all kinds of stuff. Which we're a 61-year-old waterproofing manufacturer. We've got one product we've still been making for over 60 years. So there's a lot of benefits. Decking, waterproofing, water vaults. I mean, we could definitely talk in the future about other things.
In our shower area in the jail, the grout has gone away, the water is absorbed into the cinder blocks. Is this product durable enough to?
Not this.
Okay.
No. I have another product that would be.
We need to move along.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you.
All right. Y'all are welcome to stay, or you're welcome to leave, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
It doesn't get much more entertaining than this. Although we do have two nice ladies going to talk to us about communications systems. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, we appreciate it.
I do need to go back and correct one item on the consent agenda. On the motion to approve up to $40,000, there's some additional things I asked the architecture about to do with the penthouses, and the contractor can get those for, I asked you to change that 40 to 45,000. It should come in about 3,000, but I thought that'd give us a little bit, but they think they can take care of those while they're up there, and they will test to be sure they have done that as part of their deal.
Is that putting the metal up, Judge?
Yes,
like we
sir.
talked in the work session?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so I'd ask you all to, if it's all right, to modify number 3 to change it to $45,000.
Yeah, so moved.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second to that?
I'll
Second.
second it. Who had that? You want the original second, or does it matter?
Well, let's do it that way, Commissioner Harvey.
Yeah.
If that's agreeable with you, then we'll modify that.
Yes.
Consent agenda, and Commissioner Mahler. Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries 5-0. All right. How long is your all's presentation? How long?
It's going to be probably 10 minutes.
Okay. Because I was thinking item number 2 is going to be some other discussion. Let's go ahead and do the work session with them, because the other one's just going to be the discussion on the maintenance. Item 2 is discussion on maintenance services, time and materials, put those out for bid. I'm just thinking as courtesy to you all, and we can get that done and do that. So,
Judge, why don't we just do number 3 real quick? So
I'm
Darryl can
sorry.
leave.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. Item number 3 is discuss care take action to authorize the sheriff's office to purchase it's a 3-compartment sink with pre-rinsed faucet assembly from Wichita Restaurant Supply in the amount of $1,378 plus installation, to be made by transfer from 100.561.3252 small equipment to appropriate line as determined by the county auditor. I did have a question on this. You all straightened it out because the total said $1,079. They didn't add in that $299 for the faucet, but we're back up. That adds up to $1,378. Do you have anything on the cost for installation?
No, I don't, Judge. I'm actually going to try to install that locally, and I don't see us running into any issue with that.
It's all freestanding, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
This should look like that.
That's it.
Well, it's a replacement, right?
Oh, okay.
So
I see this.
It should go back in the same slot, isn't that?
Yes, sir. We've actually pulled that out during remediation, and we've put it in before, so I'm really not foreseeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty straight.
So there might be some nominal things to redo connections, but nothing. All right.
Will this go into surplus property, or will that actually trade in to Wichita Restaurant?
No, the existing one, Commissioner Harvey was talking about the possibility of repairing the one that's there and keeping it in the warehouse for as needed.
Was broke welds or?
Yeah, it's just stainless.
Yeah, you can start, we can fix that.
Okay. How long do you think for the shipment and the other one getting here?
Probably within a week, sir.
Okay. Is court ready to take action on that?
So moved.
Second. Ray can have it.
You got it. You were louder.
Okay.
That's unusual there.
Don't make me stab you.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Harvey to approve the item as requested. Any other comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Commissioner, for catching that. I had too much writing on that one. Thought we'd done it. All right. Now, would you go ahead and introduce your guests?
I will. Ms. Prettyman, would you like to introduce Wendy? And Ms. Prettyman contacted me a couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago and just asked if she could come and give us a presentation on how her company can help the county.
This is Wendy. Thank you. Your Honor, may I approach? Please?
Yes, ma'am, please. If you'll bring one of those microphones, or unless you're just going to drop off your stuff. You can do that.
We do know how to spell. We will find one error on it. We do know how to spell. We just picked it up from the
That's right. This isn't a spelling bee here.
I just wanted to make sure it was on there.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Judge, do you have one?
Thank you.
I know you have one.
Thank you.
My name is Linnell Prettyman. I'm the CEO and founder of Prettyman & Associates in Dallas, Texas. We're headquartered in Dallas, but we also have a location in Tampa that handles the East Coast. We are a third-party objective advocate for counties and governments. We have no ties to any vendors. We take no money from anyone. What happened is I approached Commissioner Harvey because in the industry, everybody knows everything. So we heard in the industry that y'all had let an RFP and that there were some complaints that, and I read the RFP myself, and I do agree, in my own estimation, that it was written for an NEC system. If you follow the letter of the law under the local government code, you have to do this. You have to publicize it. You have to answer questions, and they can't be verbal. They have to be in writing, and they have to be returned and sent to all other people that have participated in the bid. In this particular instance, I'm not trying to make accusations here. I'm just saying that what we heard were people were told that they need not bid because someone had already been decided on, a local person here. What I'm proposing to y'all is that we go back and rewrite the RP, do it in a way that protects you in terms of warranty maintenance and gives everybody a fair chance to bid. My RPs have stood up in court, and we think that we can do a fair job for you and bring in a good price for you. My references include the City of Dallas, Fort Worth, the City of Allen. So I work with government agencies, and I know the protocol that goes with it. So I'm asking you today to give us the opportunity to do that, to write the RP, send it out, talk to the vendors, do the contract negotiations, and bring you an optimum solution. Any questions?
Yes, Linnell, I have questions.
Sure.
More than likely, if you had to pick the top 3 phone equipment providers, who are they going to be?
Avaya,
NEC,
Cisco, and ShoreTel.
And what?
ShoreTel.
Okay.
I sit on the board, advisory board of all those companies because as consultants, we give them 30% of their business. So they come to us and ask us to sit on the board so they can talk to us about your needs. Now, unfortunately, one of the reasons I came to talk to Commissioner Harvey was I understood that you have an Avaya system today. You really don't own it. You never did. It is registered to a vacant lot somewhere.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that the Avaya system that you have today is registered to a vacant lot.
Well, I wish they'd been.
What does that mean?
It means that you don't own it.
Nor can you upgrade it.
Nor can you upgrade it. It doesn't belong to you. And in fact, Avaya tried to sue you at one time for it. I don't know how you got it. I would think perhaps it was deserted in a building or somebody got it at auction. I don't know.
Well, we utilize a vendor that utilizes the rebuilt equipment, and that's ultimately how it establishes itself as the equipment that comes in has been in use other places and maybe went through, just like maybe if you send in your iPhone and you have a repair done and they send you an iPhone back for a replacement, it's not a brand new one. It'd be a used one, and if you traced it back, you'd find out there were other people that own this, and that's where ultimately our system comes back to.
Well, but you don't own it because Avaya owns the software. You may own
Right,
the
but we've been
hardware.
down that road with Avaya, and
Right.
we're at peace, and they are too.
Yeah.
So you can't upgrade the one you have today. That doesn't mean that if we sent out a bid and Avaya came in with a good bid that you couldn't use something like that in the future.
Well, I'm not sure that was ever an option anyway, was it?
No,
I didn't
Avaya's
think so.
quote originally
Yeah.
was just under $1 million.
Yeah.
Right, but there's more than one business partner with Avaya. There's more than one business partner with NEC. So we need to put it out there and get, a reasonable amount of bids. In my estimation, your IT department is being held hostage by your present vendor because they can't even log in or do any changes.
To the Avaya system?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that hadn't been within the scope of what we had been doing on the Avaya system.
We know we need to change that, and we're looking to do that straight away.
What would we bid? What would the RF?
I would write the technical
Yeah.
specifications based on talking to people within the county, how they do business today, how they want to do business. And since I've worked with counties before, I do know some of it. We do a customized bid for you. The way that Wichita County needs to have the bid written.
Would it include the network or just the system? And I understand there's two different.
Yeah, you need two different ones. A network, there are some people that are systems integrators that could provide you the dial tone also. Most people don't. Everybody's not. So you would need a network bid and a equipment bid. Unless you had a provider that said he could provide both.
Because one of the things we're looking at is we are in contract now with a new software provider. We'll be phasing out, but we're going to software as a service, which is going to be internet-based on our court system and on our financial system. So that's going to increase our network capacity needs, is the way we see it right now. But we were also looking at our outlying offices in Burke-Burnett, Iowa Park, and Electra, plus some other, the annex over here. There's a juvenile annex. There's another juvenile facility across the street.
And I would assume you want connectivity between those locations.
Yes.
Like four-digit dialing?
Like what?
Four-digit dialing?
Correct, yes. So we want to look at that from not only telephones, but broader communications usage. So
I think Linnell was speaking of networking being the provider for the equipment and not the internet bandwidth feeding into our facilities.
They can provide both.
But I think those would go, we would parallel that because we do video magistration and things like that between some of the facilities.
Those have to be secure lines.
Yeah.
Dedicated.
Okay, but
But that would be incorporated into the bid, the way you do business today. And if they have a solution that would provide a better method of doing that, that would be in the bid. For example, if the judge had to do arraignments, they wouldn't necessarily have to come here. He could do it from his office.
And that's why we have a room for our JPs. One of our JPs sits at her regular desk, and it's her day to do the magistrating duties, and all she does them right there in Burke-Burnett for the facility here and the annex facility south of town. So.
Well, also, I understand that there's some, people that are concerned about the TDM versus voice over IP. We'd write it for both. TDM is traditional dial tone. That would be there, which means you would have to have separate systems at all locations with backup, with power backup.
Well, I think we were looking at a hybrid system.
That's the TDM, yes.
What do you charge a fee to prepare this RFP?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, it's a fee service.
And I have a scope of services here that I can provide to all of you. We talked about my fee is $150 an hour, and I would quote you the number of hours to write it, so it includes all these services, with a not to exceed.
So we would know up front what number that would be?
Yes.
That would be beneficial.
Absolutely.
We can do that for you.
Yeah.
And what I would like to do is, you made a statement earlier about another conversation about there was one line on the telephone bill that was $4,000, about another.
Yeah, about the AT&T.
Yeah, about our AT&T phone bill.
That was probably the circuit.
What is
Between
circuit?
somewhere and somewhere.
It was just the courthouse main number, and it just
It could have a circuit associated with it.
Okay.
A circuit being a line bringing in dial tone, whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. But
It was just a big
But we
number.
need to do due diligence by looking at your bills. So I would need a letter of agency signed by y'all that doesn't give me any right to do anything but just look at the bills and make an assessment from that if you're being overcharged. Look at your contracts that are in place and see if there's any termination liability or anything like that.
Do you have a list of references, places that you have done this for,
Yes.
other municipalities or governmental
Yes.
entities?
And I can provide that with contacts.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to see that.
How long have you been in business?
I'm sorry, I've been in business since 1986. I'm a former AT&T employee and started my own business in 1986. So I really appreciate the opportunity to help y'all. I think that your IT department needs help. I think they're smart. I think they've just been challenged. And I think that we could give them a helping hand.
Well, this was their first venture into trying
Well,
something like
of
this, so.
course. Right.
Yeah, we all learn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I promise you mine will stand up in court. I'll get you the best price. I will get you a reputable vendor and someone that you will do business in the future with.
Okay.
That won't just leave you.
Any other discussion on this? Well, thank you all very much for coming. Glad to have you. Wendy, shouldn't be so noisy in these things, but all right. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We will provide you the proposal with the price. Shall I just send it to you, Judge?
Yes, ma'am, that'd be fine. Or Commissioner Harvey, either one, if you got his email.
Okay, you'll have that probably by tomorrow.
All right, and then we'll share it, and we'll probably put it
And I'll
in.
send you my references. Please call them.
Very good.
And as Commissioner Harvey has told me, I'm not going to put my mother on there, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I told her, I said, references are great, you're just gonna give us all the people that are happy with you. Give me somebody that's not happy with you. She said, well, there isn't anybody not happy.
Yeah.
Linnell, did you look at what their proposals were?
I didn't see the proposals that we received. I saw the proposal that was written.
And just a wild guesstimate of equipment cost for such a job. What would you feel in your just gut that it potentially could cost in equipment?
I'm going to be high,
Yeah.
600,000.
600,000. Okay.
But there are things that we can write into it. For
Sure.
example, today you don't have fiber, and we
Yep.
can ask.
We have fiber.
You do have fiber? Okay. And do you have Cat 5 wiring everywhere?
Not everywhere, no.
Okay, so I'd have to, that would be
Yeah.
considered also.
Yeah, I think
Did-
one of the
I am back to
challenges
the-
of that last
Yeah.
deal was there seemed to be some
Okay,
real.
I'm going to suggest we don't get into conversations
Yeah.
dealing with that because we have not made a final decision on
Okay,
that.
I agree.
Okay, thanks.
But the other thing that needs to be addressed in your RFP is mergers and acquisitions, because you see people buying companies all the time. You don't want to be left with someone that says that they don't have responsibility for your system anymore. So we build that in, that they have to take responsibility.
Are you saying, Linnell, you could find yourself with a system that tags itself to a vacant lot somewhere?
Pardon me?
Another vacant lot situation.
You're not going to have another vacant lot
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. All right. Okay,
We
well,
really do appreciate your time. We really want your business. We think we can do, we know we can do a good job for you. And you will see me on premise. I'm not one that sits in the office. I'll be out here with our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
all right. Okay, let's move back.
Number two.
Need a road man.
To number two.
To number two, is discuss, consider, take action, develop a proposal for maintenance services, time and material rates. Nancy gave you a handout of some things that we came across. I sent you an email with some broad suggestions on it. And what we're really doing today is simply trying to develop the RFP to go out to solicit companies. I did call down and talk to the lady who heads up purchasing for the state. I was trying to find in the comptroller's office their local government division, but they don't have that set up that way anymore. And when I talked to the lady down there, I said, how do we go about, I said, have we really done wrong? Because last year we had a plumbing company, we paid $61,000 to, and she said, well, now, you're really supposed to go out for bid after 50. I said, but ma'am, these were, maybe 150 different plumbing repairs. She said, oh, well, that's different. She said, then each one was you called them when your people couldn't get to it. And I said, yes. I said, now there were some that we went to them and said, okay, we want you to do this from start to finish. And she said, well, did any of those exceed $50,000? I said, no, ma'am, they didn't. And she said, were they were you separating them so you wouldn't do that? I said, no, ma'am, they were occurrences. I said, now we've got one that's going to be the shower pan stuff and some valve replacements that is going to be one package. We already know we're going out for bid for it. She did end all of it by saying, if you bid it all out, then you can kind of set what's going to happen in that arena. You can get hourly rates. You can get what they're going to charge you to a service call fee. What are they going to mark up their parts? Because you can have them furnish an invoice plus a certain markup. What are they going to charge you if it's holiday time or after hours coming out? In other words, I think, despite the fact that it's been nice to just call them, we could get this set up. And let's say we had 5 different plumbers did our work. And they came in, this was the most economical, the next, and the next. She said because of the emergency nature sometimes of the plumbing, she said if you call number 1, they're not available, then you could go to number 2, which is what we do on some of our other supplies, especially like asphalt. You're trying to do asphalt work and they're running a different mix here in Burke. You call Lawton and get it. So that's kind of, what we're looked at. That's the homework I did on this, and some of y'all may have some other.
I think that's a good idea, Judge, to do. I never thought that we necessarily had to bid for the year's worth of work, but it's certainly a proactive way to approach something is to make people set their price per hour, their weekend call price, their percentage of markup. It's just good business.
That's what I did for the HVAC people on the jail. Got several different vendors together and did basically the same thing. What's your hourly rate, your overtime rate, how much you're going to mark up parts, etc. Right. And that's how I selected the vendor that we're using now.
It's just good business.
But you can do that on multiple electricians, plumbers, maintenance people, like B&G. Any vendor that we have multiple vendors that we use, we can do that.
Right. I'm thinking of plumbing and electrical. You've already done HVAC. Did we get that finalized and select those, or have we?
No, we need to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, okay.
We need to do it through the court.
All right. So if you all would give, or y'all can take it and work with Willie, and let's develop a document that probably would work for all of those trade services. We might have to think if there's something additional, but
I mean, what you have here covers the 98% of it in just those.
Well, Nancy did that document, got it for us. So
we already know we're going to go out for RFP for jobs that are specific in nature and that could be costly.
Right.
Separate and apart. So that doesn't mean because of ABC company receives this award that they're going to do every job for us.
Well, this is going to be maintenance as opposed, when I say maintenance, it's the spot maintenance, because we have electrical capability within our personnel, we have plumbing, but it gets beyond their capacity to keep up with because of the number of places they've got to take care of. Okay. So would it be all right then if we get that and we'll put something together, unless one of y'all want to grab that ball or not?
I think we should build on this right here.
Okay.
Long ways along with what you presented here.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how much further you need to get.
Do you want a motion, Judge, to put that?
No, let us bring back the document you all adopt and do that, but that kind of gets us. I'd rather have something that everybody says, okay, this is what we've done, whether we have any modification for electrical versus plumbing.
Right.
Well, does the city or school district, anybody do this also? Do they have a
I don't know, and I did not have time to make those calls to find out.
You're not going to know what else you need or how you need to change it till you do it once.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you'll learn some things. That's
Well, you need the one thing I noticed right off the bat is you need different prices for different classifications. You'll have a master plumber and you'll have an apprentice, and you don't pay the same price for both of them. So you have you need to include an opportunity for different.
Well, it says price per hour per level of plumber,
Yeah.
so that
And
would break that
Okay,
out.
level.
Yeah.
we need
Same thing with
to,
electrician.
Right.
we need to also set out in this document just what our parameter of insurance is as well.
Yes,
So that
absolutely.
everybody understands we expect them to provide at a minimum this coverage.
Correct.
Well, and we want general liability, and we know they have workers' comp.
Right.
Because we don't want to assume that liability.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay, we'll try to tidy that up and get that ready. Okay, we're down to the part for public comments. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up? Okay. Commissioners?
Oh,
You got
Ted
one in
Gregg.
Oh, Ted, I'm sorry, Mr. Gregg.
Judge, I'd like to bring up something that county officials, not necessarily comment.
Can you come to the microphone so we can hear you, please?
Are you ready for me?
Yes, sir.
And Ted, it's probably still to be determined whether we're ready for you or not, but we'll know in a minute. We'll know pretty quick.
That's one.
That's one.
Thank you, sir.
This is nothing more than just a little informational presentation to you about a program that will be coming up with TAC. And the information. Can you hear me on this one? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, that lady was talking on that one. I thought it was hot. I'm not going to go into great detail to discuss the information before you, but this is some information I printed off the TAC website. But one of the things that I wanted to remind you of and encourage you to do is that the Texas Association of Counties is getting ready to implement a reimbursement program. As you know, back in October, we have really developed an effort in 2016 to really reduce our workers' compensation costs. And this is in conjunction with that. The Texas Association of Counties has now put together a reimbursement program, and it's voluntary for each county to determine if you want to participate. But if you do, there are a couple of areas that you can participate in, and one of them is the risk management program that has to do with workers' compensation. And the other is the law enforcement program. Now, I know we're a part of the workers' compensation program, but in short, this is what happens. Texas Association of Counties will reimburse Wichita County if we participate in this program with them. I'm not sure how much the money will be for 2016, but when I talked with Jack Coffey the other day, it's going to be several $1,000s. I do know that. And this is how it works. If we choose to participate in the program, anything that we use that's a qualified use or purchase to reduce the risk, to improve the safety, and things like that for our county in 2016. If we purchase it, save the receipts, and then submit those receipts to the Texas Association later in the year, then they'll reimburse us for the cost of those items up to whatever our limit is. Like I say, I don't know what that limit is, and I'm not really here to present the details of the program, but what's going to happen this week is that on the 3rd, which is Wednesday, at 10 o'clock in the morning, the Texas Association of Counties is going to have a webinar. I know that each one of you commissioners and you, Judge Gossam, have also received that, but I just wanted to make sure to remind you that, you know, these things kind of slip by and you don't notice them, but at 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning, there's going to be a webinar that will last about 40 minutes. And Lee Bell Hovland at TAC and maybe others will give us a detailed presentation of what this can mean to Wichita County. So I'd encourage you to do that. Now, if you are going to do that, Judge Gossaman and I looked at a webinar one time here recently together. I don't know if you want to do that or how you want to do it, but if you do plan to sign on to that webinar at your individual computer site, please go ahead and look up that email today and send them an application or registration for that, because they will have to send you the sign-on information. Because you'll have to have a telephone sign-on for the audio and then also the other. But if you're interested in that, and I certainly hope you will be, because what I plan to do is come back next Monday after you've had a chance to see this on Wednesday, and I'm assuming, Judge, that if we are going to participate, we are going to have to bring that before the court. Is that correct?
Okay, to participate in this program, I don't know if there's anything that would, if there's not a cost.
No, sir.
Unless we have to adopt, a resolution that says we're going. And if you check that out, make sure you get that included in the agenda request.
Okay, I will. And as a matter of fact, I've already printed off many things. There's an application and several documents that come along with this, but we will need, do I need to bring that before the Commissioners Court next week?
If there's something that has to be signed off on by me or by, county, then it has to come from
the application to participate will.
Okay.
Okay.
Then that needs to be on there for the approval of that.
Okay. So that's the reason I'm visiting with you this morning, is to give you a heads up that next Monday I hope to have this on the agenda and come in and visit with you about it. But so that we'll all know more about it, I just want to encourage you also to view the webinar on Wednesday morning.
One of the things, I'm going to add a little to what you were saying, when you had the person here from TAC on their training on law enforcement and stuff, when they realized that we do not carry anything other than health and workers' comp insurance with TAC, then some of the services weren't available to us. Did any more discussion come out of that?
No, sir. As a matter of fact, the last time he and I discussed that is when we were visiting with you. But even though we don't participate in the law enforcement coverage, they still can provide a lot of good information. But one of the things that we did learn, I think I'm right, is the online training that we discussed earlier isn't available for law enforcement. Isn't that correct?
That's what I think he said, yeah. Right. And that is they do the workers' comp, but there were some other things in safety, driving, operations, some other things that are beyond that have to do more with liability. Those aren't offered to us. So,
and a couple of those examples,
unless we were participating and they were covering us under a general liability or law enforcement liability.
A couple of things that he mentioned to you and I, that they have, I believe, 2 new driving simulators, and they also have what really perked my interest was a use of force simulator. And we do, as I'm sure every jail has, issues with use of force in combative inmates. So. But still, this is just one of the examples, I think, of how TAC is really giving us a lot of support to help us really, and other counties too, get our rates down and keep them down. So anyway, Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And if you need any assistance or help with that, well, just let me know. Okay. Thank you.
On that note, I just want to follow through the work that Ted had started early on workman's comp. I'd gotten a note from Debbie last week. We have been able to reclassify a multitude of people, us included, into better rate categories, and every department has followed through with that. And so we are able to pay a better rate.
Lesser amount.
A lesser amount, and it's been very good for us to look at this workman's comp from top to bottom, and it's saved us some money. So thanks.
And one other thing that I want to say, a real kudo to Jack Coffey. Jack was up last week, and he taught hazardous communication training to 63 different people here, which is by far the biggest attendance I've ever had to a training class here at Wichita County. So some of the key people that were here, everyone from Road and Bridge were here, everyone from the maintenance and custodial area were here, and even Tom Smith, who helped coordinate that and really led out over across the street in juvenile. They had nearly every person that works in the Juvenile Justice Center over here. So had a really good, successful training, and I'm really excited about what's going to happen in 2016.
And then you've also got some HR training coming up that'll be open on ADA and ADAAA. And
Glad you mentioned that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's another big one. In the Human Resources Office, family medical leave and workers' comp and ADA and things like that are really big deals. And so March the 15th, Elizabeth Sutherland is going to come up from TAC, and she's going to present 2 different classes that are 2.5-hour classes, be one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And we're hoping that all supervisors, department heads, and elected officials will be interested in coming to that.
Those are all on one day?
All on one day, yes, sir, March the 15th.
Okay, because she had talked about having one afternoon, one morning or something, but...
Yeah, all the same day.
I haven't talked to her personally, but I was thinking that she was going to have a morning class and an afternoon class the same day.
Okay, but same class presentation, 2.5 hours each time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. I thought at first the way you were saying it was 2 different 2.5 hours.
I'm sorry. It's supposed to be a 9 o'clock to 11:30 class in the morning of the HR triangle, which is family medical leave, workers' comp, and ADA, and then we're going to take up for the second 2.5-hour session at 1:30 that afternoon, 1:30 to 4.
Okay, have you gotten anything out on that? Well, that's March 15. There's a little
I was
bit
going
of
to say,
time.
it's a little early yet, but I've got big plans. So, and I've been, like I say, in touch 2 or 3 times with Elizabeth Sutherland by email, and looking forward to that. So, pass the word, and I will too. We sure could use all the supervisors, believe me, on the family medical leave end, especially. The more we know, the easier it is to work with that, handle that.
Ted, that refund that we get from TAC for safety for the road crews,
yes, sir.
Is that part of this program?
That is, that's the reimbursement program, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are doing one of them already.
Mm-hmm. And it's workers' comp safety related. So, and we didn't go over this, but in the handout that I gave you today, there's a sheet there that's got a full page of sample things that you can do to be eligible for participation and reimbursement.
Because I think since I've been here, we've been getting a refund every year. I know Pat would always bring that check in. So.
Well, we've had some good programs here. The wellness program has always had a great reimbursement. And of course, I think we do get a reimbursement, or at least maybe a credit back or something on our workers' comp. But then again, we have to pay it to get it back. So hopefully we're going to reduce that too.
Right. Right.
Would the high visibility clothing that we purchase for our road and crew people qualify for that?
I couldn't say absolutely yes, but I would say yes, because one of the things that Jack Coffey saw the other day at the HASCOM training is that a lot of the guys in Road and Bridge wore their neon yellow jackets and their hats. Jack was very impressed, and I'm sure it would, because anything categorically that reduces risk and improves health and safety would qualify.
There's a water intrusion prevention program on here.
Can we use that on the roof? Can we use that on the roof?
Well, as a matter of fact, we've got a project we're looking at our precinct barn right now where that could fit.
That's one of the reasons I'm really encouraging you to see that, because I think that the webinar on Wednesday, you'll see some really good ideas, and you can kind of move those around in your thoughts and get some good ideas when we come back on Monday and discuss this next week. But I think it's going to be a good plan. Now, one of the things that Jack told me, and it really doesn't say that so much in here, it says that you have to apply by July the 1st. But one of the things that Jack told me about a month ago, even before the first of the year, is that first come, first serve. So we really need to be diligent, and if we are going to participate, we really do need to get that application in quickly with our hopefully eligible ideas, what we propose to do, because he says that once the money runs out, he said, even if a county has a certain amount of money given, once the money runs out, there is no more. So we want to be...
Do you know what that dollar is?
I'm going to say this, but I'm not absolutely sure, because as a matter of fact, when he was up for HAZCOM training last week, he made a couple phone calls to Lee Bell Hovland, and he couldn't get her because he was going to tell me, but I think it's in the range of maybe around $7,000.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, anything else?
We can't pass up talking about the Pancake Festival.
Okay.
Well, I did not understand clearly what the new competition was. Was it an all-you-could-eat competition?
Well, well, how many pancakes can you eat in 10 minutes?
And I watched the guy eat 13 of them, and he didn't waste any time.
Was it you?
No. 13 of them,
In
and
how
then
many
got
minutes?
back in
10
line
minutes?
and went back around so he could get sausage patties.
Wow.
Wow. So
Absolutely.
you didn't have to do the sausage patties and drink an orange juice or milk
No.
with your straight pancake?
No, straight pancakes. I guess you could
High
have
carb.
something to drink with it.
High carb.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to think that these are not little bitty pancakes that this guy ate. They covered the whole plate. They were that thick and they were that tall. 13 of them.
That's lots
Wow.
of carbs.
I mean, holy guacamole! I can't believe he did. And he was a little guy.
If he took his blockers.
Yeah.
Do you know a head count, Judge? Was it a,
I heard at the end of the night it was 10,075.
That's lots of
But
folks.
it was the most different way of people showing up. The weather was so good.
Yeah.
I have the last grill always, and it usually doesn't start until 7:30. I turn it on at 6:45. And then usually from 7:30 or 8 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can't see the tables for the bodies.
Right.
It never got that deep. It got as deep as like 5 or 6, but it went that way from earlier until about 1 o'clock. And I thought we were going to be way off on numbers, but anytime we break the 10,000, we've done well.
I thought a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, we were trying to do 6,000 people and break some Guinness World
No, it
Record.
was pancakes we were trying to do. We were trying to set the record for the number of pancakes cooked in a 6-hour period. And I think the number we hit was 32,000, and we came in second.
Wow.
Lubbock turned around a year later and just blew the numbers apart, but they've got a bigger operation, a lot more people, and we won't be breaking that record unless they start dividing up by population, so.
So they really blew it out
Oh,
apart.
they way did, yeah, we'd have
Wow.
to put 2 or 3 years together to beat that now.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
10,000 people is pretty good.
pretty good.
I'd like to
for that
mention too,
90 days.
Judge, this Saturday is the Electra
Yes.
Chamber. Come get a ribeye and has tickets
Is that Saturday night?
Saturday
Yes, sir.
night.
We've never had it
Can't
other
come.
than.
It's always been Sarah.
Dang it.
Got a conflict.
My dad's birthday, the whole
Oh.
family's getting together to take him out.
Bring them all to the.
Yeah,
bring 'em
take
out
'em
there.
to the-
Yeah.
Take 'em to the chamber banquet.
It doesn't get any better than that. Might win some.
Reserve
Yeah.
it.
Hey, that ribeye steak over there is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't-
very
I'm
good.
not gonna tell you that
It
that's
sure
not a good
is.
idea.
We had a
Reserve your
deal,
table.
Judge, Saturday, that I mentioned to you, we,
16 of us
the
coming.
Wichita Soil and Water Conservation District hosted a soil health and conservation tour. Terry McAllister and Kevin did it on their place, and we had 15 producers from Australia join
Wow.
us that were in the
Wow.
country for the
I saw
soil
the
health
pictures. That was-
seminar. It was really a good informational deal, and had a good brisket dinner at the Pumpkin Center Volunteer Fire Department that night. So it was a great chance to have some fellowship and get some information. Also want to mention Lewis Skinner, the assistant chief over in Iowa Park Volunteer Fire Department, told me in church yesterday there is a fire training session coming up in April. It'll be here in Wichita Falls, and one of the sessions is on dozers and wildfire fighting application. And I'm planning on going to that myself, so if you got some guys, Donald might
Absolutely.
want to attend, and this is, will go right along with what Ted was just talking about. It'll be the safety aspects, because we are supporting those fire departments and get called out from time to time, so we need to do it right, do it safe, and that's coming up. And I'll have more information over the next week or two. He's going to get me a flyer, so. And having said that, it is a red flag day. Be very, very careful outside. We've got lots of fuel, lots of wind, and it is so wet in the country, we're getting these fire trucks stuck when they're out trying to fight fire. It's a very dangerous situation.
Red Wire's got a spray rig, tractor, and a bulldozer stuck in a field.
Still.
And they just said, we'll just leave them all there until they dry up. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Well, last week they had all the fire trucks stuck out on the fire scene, and that is extremely dangerous when you get one stuck. And so be careful. Let's don't start any fire. These guys don't need any practice, and that goes for our guys here in Wichita Falls as well as our volunteers. So be careful out there.
All right. Anything else?
I'd like to pass on that we just got a wonderful phone call about 5 minutes before court started. And the Bonner Road project is back on track. Representative from FEMA called out of Austin. They had reassigned our project to a new man. And it looks very positive at this time. So got high hopes for that.
Good. Well, I was glad because we were getting ready to appeal that verdict.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we had been offered $95,000, and that's a far cry from the $420,000 that we needed to fix it right. And the phone call came in, I mean, just 5 minutes before we started court, that stand down, we're gonna get it fixed. So that's really good news.
Yeah. All right. Okay, it is 11:25 and we're adjourned.
We're coming back, Judge, at